Yeah,
Caitlin, there she is.
she's
Um,
gone now.
well, the internet's fluky today, so we'll just take what we can get. Plus personal. When you said there were guides watching over us,
Caitlin.
Caitlin,
Caitlin's
she's there.
lost.
She's there. She's
Oh.
waving at you. Uh, prosperity. Okay. Um, I got a twing on ancestors and saw behind you a whole line of ancestor women giving you their support and also radiating their support to us. So thank you for that image. It just popped into my head. Um, and I think all of our feminine ancestors are behind us, giving us support for the year. I'm also interpreting some of that as new people coming, more new people with different talents, um, different gifts. Um, what I saw, and I don't even associate with this form of the Blessed Mother, but Our Lady of Guadalupe popped into my meditation with her last week, and I'm like, I don't know you. I mean, I have a statue of her that somebody gave me, but I'm really never really connected with her. So I've been trying to do some meditation on her and what her message might be throughout the week. And again, all I keep seeing is new faces coming to the ministry. Um, and I also got a message that somehow some of us or one of us is going to connect with somebody with a lot of money who's going to help us develop the property in California. She was very vague, but she just showed me money signs behind a person, and I don't even know if it was a male or a female that would. And then she showed me a development of. I saw windmills. I saw walls of what are those things? The energy gathering things. I'm having brain farts this morning. Sorry. Um, the panels, the solar panels, and I also saw geodesic domes, and I saw an additional bunch of property around that area. So put your prayer caps on and let's make that happen. Because, Mother Mary usually doesn't mess with my head. So to me, I saw that as a clear message that not only will be getting new people, but somebody will connect with somebody who has some big moolah um, to help us develop that property. And just developing that property, the message I got was then we're going to go pop and we'll have almost more people than we need, we want, whatever. And I also got a caution to be careful who we let in. Morning, Charlie. Is he there? Hi, Bobby. Morning. She's up.
Yeah, now we can hear. Okay. Good morning,
Okay.
everybody.
Yeah. We're right now we're talking about messages from meditation last week with Terry Riley. Did you get anything specific either that time or through the week? Any messages from the mother for us? I know you meditate a lot, so
Oh, I should have written something down. I forgot all about it. If it comes to mind, I'll bring it up.
okay, very good. Anybody else get anything? Kevin, did you get anything while you were meditating?
Yeah, I came up with one thing. We have to aim at nurturing souls.
Oh, Okay.
And whatever we do is to nurture a soul. Now, I'm not really sure what that means, but I know what it means in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I've always tried to do is nurture souls of those around me. So I got the feeling that we're on the right track, but that might be a goal to really concentrate on. And whatever we do is to nurture souls, and that brings people in. You know, a nurturing woman is going to bring in a lot more people than a non-nurturing woman. It's kind of the way I think. So we can attract people by being nurturing and offering things online. And when they tune in on Sunday mornings, we tend to have a discussion. And we are nurturing each other's souls, and we have to make that more of an outreach to others.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
So I'm nurturing a young soul right now. Can you see
You're
it?
very cute.
Oh, how cute.
Is this a
How
new
old
addition or
are
a part-time?
This is a new puppy.
Awesome.
Oh, how
Cute.
Good
adorable.
energy to put in the house, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
As
It's
long as you don't
teacher.
trip over that energy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ugh. More effort. Okay. Did she give you any idea, Kevin, about what we could do, what types of programs, what types of services we could offer to help
no,
nurture?
like I said, I don't know how that was supposed to happen.
Oh,
But,
okay.
you
All
know,
right. I
that
didn't hear that.
I know what my goals are this year. And I mean, even when I talk to friends, you know, I just spent a week with a friend who has a really hardened heart. And conversation after conversation I had with her, I was trying to nurture her soul because her soul is a little on the wounded side and needs extra care. And so I was really careful in how I worded things. But, you know, we just have to be very aware of when we are dealing with people, we are not dealing with their human form, we are dealing with their souls.
Thank you.
You know, our souls are just residing in this human form. But I put I don't know why, I posted a thing on Facebook one morning. I said, look, if you have a disagreement with me, don't approach me on my physical level. Let's approach each other soul to soul and we'll deal with an issue. And that's kind of the way what I took from that.
Terrific. Cindy, did you get anything? Is she there? Maybe. How about you, B? Did you get anything last week or were you here? You were here. Nobody's
Well,
talking this morning.
they're both
Caitlin.
if they know they're muted.
Oh, yeah, both of you have muted. Caitlin, do you have anything to add?
I didn't get a vision. It was a very pleasant experience, one where I was filled with white light from the crown and all through my body. I found it more healing than, but I didn't really get messages other than the feeling that I had was one of immense agape love.
Mhm.
And so my takeaway from that was to focus more from operating from that energy, holding that space for others.
Thank you.
Excellent. I actually have already started my manifestations. I'm going to put it in the chat in case the audio goes. But I'm in Hawaii, so aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
I ended up getting a
Aloha.
deal. I ended up getting a deal where I can come and spend 2 months with my son.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So we're on a
How
regenerative
awesome.
farm. Yeah, and it's exciting and I'm learning all kinds of things and they've got a lot of things in productive like mode. So it's really
Nice.
exciting to see it in action rather than starting from the blank slate and not knowing exactly what to do to take the first step. So anyway, but we were
There's a
also,
reason.
what's that?
I said there was a reason.
Yeah, I know. And like you said, there's something coming, there's something around the corner. And I literally am meeting new people. And every time I ask a question about what I'm going down the rabbit hole to learn, somebody else has been there so they can add to it. And so now so it's like that's expanded into 3 extra communities that are doing similar things. And so we're really focusing on not just the land itself, but also the financing of it and all of that and what kind of lifestyle we can build into the future through doing such things, which are happening more and more and more. I'm finding them all over the world. And so we've got 2 different communities in Portugal that are up to this. One of the guys is just absolutely crazy about visioning the future. And so he shows up on our calls and he's got these wild ideas, but he's generating some interest. And so it's like, this is
Mhm.
kind of interesting. It's something we would never do because we sound crazy, but he's willing to go down the path and make something happen and nurture a new beginning. So doors are opening, and that's a really exciting thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Knew
So
you
the
were
sun is
going there
just
for a
coming
reason.
up. Otherwise, I'd show you the land, but it's still dark.
Am I still muted? Can you still
No,
hear me?
we
I
can
can
hear you
hear you.
now.
Okay, I don't know why I can't get on the screen, but anyway, um, I had to leave the service early last week because my client just required meds. Anyway, um, she since has passed. She passed on New Year's Day. Yep.
You made it.
Anyway, yeah, she made it. She did. She had to make it through Christmas because she didn't want the holidays to be sad for her kids.
Bless her.
So she did. And then, of course, she said, well, I got to get my Social Security check. I said, when does that come? And when did she get her check? On the 1st. And when did she pass? On the 1st.
She
A
got what
person's
you
will
wish.
is amazing. Oh, she cracked me up, though. She made me laugh towards the very end with love.
Power of the mind and the spirit.
Oh, yeah. Yep, she just confirmed me with me the amazing will of a human being and what can be accomplished. Yeah.
Well, Nikki, you're in the perfect place. You know, the Hawaiian Islands still growing, it's still birthing itself.
That's
It's
for
a
sure.
land of birthing, bringing forth new.
Beautiful.
Yeah. When I was here before, it was Pele, the volcano is Pele, the goddess of fire, is the one that spit
Mhm.
me out. And they talk about you, if you come to the islands, you're either going to be embraced by Pele or spit out by Pele. So that time I was spit out. This time I came in
Mhm.
and she's also erupting. And it's like, oh my God.
Wow.
And
Oh
I'm in a
no.
regenerative farm in
Interesting.
zone 1, which could be wiped out again. But we're looking at all
Oh,
the lava that came around. And it's like, oh my God, this is where I used to live. And all this lava has covered so many things. And this particular property is blessed
Oh,
because the lava came right to the line. So we have a nice lava wall blocking one side of our property. It's 10 acres of lava wall.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
that is amazing.
Well,
Can you feel the heat from the lava?
No, we're not that close. The cauldron is like at the top of a great big hill, and that's a couple of miles away.
Wow.
Luckily,
pretty
it's
cool.
contained. It's not dangerous at this point.
Well, Nikki, if you think about it, fire is a way that we release energy. So that goes towards manifestation, whether we're burning candles, incense, or whatever. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would think that's a positive thing that
Right.
Definitely. And you can, it's amazing to see the growth in the lava flow from 2018. There's like stuff growing in it now. It's like, this is amazing.
Wow.
There's the abundance, green.
Yeah.
growing.
Wow.
Mama Gaia.
It's land. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So Caitlin, let's talk about, we were going to have Caitlin and a friend of mine who's also a regenerative farmer come and view the 29 Palms land in January because she's going to be traveling out here. She's from Asheville. So she's got her own stories about hurricanes and survival and all that good stuff. But she was going to be out here and I thought we could all meet up at 29 Palms, but I ended up here. So we might move that to March. So Kate, you have some time to prepare.
Mhm.
But what would you say, you know, for the land, just going out to see it, survey it, feel it, you know, maybe be on it for a minute and just kind of get the lay of the land and find out who the neighbors are? Because I think you're right. And Charlie was saying that somebody's growing hemp out there. And I was thinking
Mhm.
that's a really fast reproducing crop. So
Mhm.
if we could build that, you know, for textiles and paper, and they're doing this new hempcrete, which is a concrete made of hemp. And there's
Really?
getting way more mileage of how it's fire resistant, it's heat protective, it's all these properties just by putting hemp in concrete to build these
Wow.
buildings that are more endurance, you know, focused. So I think that might be something we look at, especially if somebody else is
Yeah.
already growing out there. We might be able to expand. And maybe Paula, that fits into your vision of the neighbors. You know, it's like there's more out there than just our land. And I'm frozen.
And actually got her ads, and then the rest going to a price. Because one of the things I heard has to be to help protect that area. So if we can do something that helps our people use there and efficiently get a cost, it will be protect their land. The whole message that she gave was we have tech there, but their spots
What are we protecting them
as well.
from?
Higher costs. You know, they wouldn't be able to continue growing their hemp or protecting their land, kind of permaculture or any of that stuff. So I really don't understand it. So my message may be a little warped from what I do understand. But you know, it was like we have to provide a service that's less expensive that they could get from another source so that they could expand as well if they're going in an ecological direction. If that makes any sense. I mean, it was very vague, but like I said, I don't really understand a lot of this. I mean, I know a lot about gardening and herbs, but don't ask me about anything else.
Does anything
just-
come to mind, Kate, when you hear that? Because I've got an idea, but it's way out there. So I want to hear from you first.
I'm still not fully understanding what we're looking to protect somebody from or do. I'm all for, you know, helping the local community to be more self-sustaining,
Mhm.
and enriching them, certainly not handouts or saving anybody or anything like that, but you know, teaching people how to do things for themselves and creating job opportunities through this project for local people. And then the business model itself would also need to be financially self-sustaining. And I just wanted to address, so permaculture is really just a fancy word for the old school way of farming back in the day, which was sustainably. So you don't do monocropping. You don't put one crop year after year after year in the same
Right.
spot because it deadens the soil. So you have to rotate crop production and things of that nature, and then get familiar with companion planting of things that work well together to enrich the soil. And So anyway, so that's all permaculture is just that everything that you do, all the systems, and there are seven systems to a food forest. Each system has been designed to either offer protection or enrichment to the other ones. And then the seventh one is usually your tree barrier for protection against wind. And then you work your way closest to your home with the actual food production is closest to the home because you don't want to have to travel too far to get your food production. So that's it. That's really just it. And capturing rain, just designing things in a way that you're working with nature and you're not working against nature and demanding things of nature that's not natural to it or supporting it, which is what pretty much we do as humans in general. So anyway, hopefully that helped clear that up.
Thanks.
I'm seeing crops. I'm seeing products. I'm seeing workshops. I'm seeing lavender. I'm seeing things that are, I'm seeing things that are created from the land. I'm seeing lots of people coming in to learn things, and that's why I say workshops, but I'm also seeing selling of stuff that's created or grown there. And I'm seeing that also as a way of giving back to the community. I'm seeing that as just products, like I'm soaps and foods and different things. And I think that's what the workshops are behind, and how to do this and how to do that, whether it's growing and creating. I see, that's what I see.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
All right, Nikki, what's your out there idea? Let's have it.
Some of these communities, and yes, I agree with all of that. And yes, stay with nature, be nature, and reproduce nature, and sustain each other by leveraging each other's assets. Like I think I've shared in the past. If one land grows fruit, the other one grows veggies, the other grows microgreens, we all get to swap and have something that's an internal system of exchange that doesn't have anything to do with the almighty dollar. And so people are surviving because they're being generous, and they're also being responsible and not freeloading or getting those handouts, like you say. In terms of the products and selling and all that kind of stuff, we can digitize all of that too. So there's an e-commerce version of it where the production is there on the land or in the vicinity. Locals are leveraging each other to produce more and different products that can be sold all over the world. And having something that's regionally grown and have something that's, sort of along the lines of a ministry or a belief system that is compatible with nature is the future. And the way out there thing is that there are these couple of these farms are basically practicing a form of non-ownership of land because they're trying to break down the exploitation of capitalism and the hierarchy of 1% owning everything and everybody else works under that umbrella. So they're saying to distribute that and to decentralize the governance of that. There's one particular one I'll use as the example where in Portugal they've built this farm, but it's managed as a DAO, which is the decentralized autonomous organization, which has multiple entities. So multiple people can be in there as an entity working together as a collective under the governance, because somebody has to be the ultimate governance of the Swiss system, which is supposedly the most friendly to get people in the happiest state of being, most productive state of being provided for, having opportunity to do the things that you do in such a way that you're fulfilled and not working 9 to 5 on somebody else's clock. But these sorts of things are in practice. And so it's exciting to me to think about, and a couple of them are tokenized, which is another foreign word to a lot of people, but the tokenization allows for people to have an exchange other than money, other than being beholden to some government aspect that controls you and taxes you and puts all these restrictions in place for being free and sovereign. And so these experiments are going on, and they're exciting to me because I've always tried to fight the system that's broken, but as Bucky Fuller would put it, this is back in the 1920s, he was a visionary who said, you don't try to fix a broken system, you replace it with something else that's more sustainable and that's more productive, it's more for the people and more adopting. And so I think the veil is thinning to a point where people are starting to say, I can take command and I can be in charge of my own land and my own productivity. And I'm seeing it here in the farm here. It's like there's a system in place where people sign up to do, they do Kuleana, which is doing right by the land and by the people and just being in service. And so you sign up and you say, okay, well, in this case, somebody's going to clean the kitchen. And in this case, somebody's going to take the compost to the dump. And in this case, somebody's going to go harvest. We just harvested a dozen avocados yesterday, and a coconut magically fell through the air, and the coconut was magnificent. We produced like a quart of milk, coconut milk, from one coconut.
Wow.
Because it was so abundant. And it's like, oh my gosh. And we didn't even have to pick it. It fell in front of us. And it's like, oh, gift. Thank you.
Gift.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, just letting nature kind of take its course and be in harmony with it. The people here, it's like they meditate, they do all these things, and it's like, oh, I feel like I'm like the city junkie. So it's a really wonderful experience. So I'll be sharing as we learn.
Yeah.
Nikki, Bobby, and I, there's a place in Hawaii we toured that a man spent his fortune creating a huge area where he planted everything.
Yeah.
All kinds of trees and plants.
Yep.
As a living memorial to the possibilities.
Yeah.
Might want to look at that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you might think of turning that 29 Palms property into cash or money so that it can be used to purchase something in Hawaii that's suitable or in connection with somebody else.
That's an option. I really am. I'm kind of excited about, the desertification. What is the name of it, Caitlin? Where you're regreening the deserts and trying to build deserts back into ecosystem. But I do agree that there's a possibility that this land could be leveraged towards something a lot bigger and more vast and more collective. But I'm careful about it because, as the people here experienced, if you're going to ask me to give up my deed, what do you ensure for my people to see that my possibility is even greater than what I could produce on my 5 acres, right? And so we're having that conversation and seeing how to delicately navigate the possibility of exchanging the land for something else that's better or more maybe advanced or productive, more mature, versus starting from scratch, because that's maybe a 10-year plan. Or so we're just asking questions, and everybody gets to vote, so it's not anything that's going to happen without your knowledge and approval.
And your words from Bucky Fuller remind me that you don't have to change the desert. The desert's fine by itself, but when you can put your attention and energy in an area that's growing, very productive. It has all the energy and ingredients for doing what you'd like to do.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, Hawaii can grow anything. We literally, the jungle consumes cars. It's that magnificent. And so composting is so easy here. Like 6 months and you've got fertilizer. It's like wonderful.
Right. And what's so nice about it, it's a place where people would like to visit. Yeah. So even if you had a place where they could visit or have a chapel or something, there's a good example in Scotland. There was a religious community or spiritual community in Scotland. I wish I could remember their name, but I went to their facility, and it was a commune type of thing where people planted and lived, but their vegetables, their gardens grew so much larger and quicker and all that stuff because of their spirituality, their prayer. and they had these round buildings that were half built into the earth, and like an Indian thing, but half in the earth, where they meditated and prayed.
Yeah.
When I remember the name of it, I'll let you know, because it was very successful for
Yeah.
about 30, 40
Are you
years.
talking about Findhorn?
Findhorn, yeah, that's
Findhorn. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That place was amazing. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Barbie and I,
they had their own line of tinctures and flower waters. And I don't know if they're still in business because they had some problems there, but yeah, that was one of my goals as a herbalist to go to Findhorn someday.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
is that?
They're
It's
still
in
kicking.
Scotland on the beach, believe it or not. They took
Okay.
sand and
Nice.
they talked to the divas of the area under meditation, and they were given instructions on how to turn the sand into viable soil. And they did just, and as Charlie said, everything they grew was so much better and so much bigger because
Wow.
they put their own personal energy into the community, put their energy
Mhm.
into what was growing. It
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
amazing. I used to have a book, but I gave
Power
it
of
to
prayer.
somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
absolutely.
wonderful.
And
I'm
they're
sure
still going, and they are
Are
having to
they?
make adjustments.
Okay,
They lost one of their founders, and everything started shifting. Then they had a fire, and
that's
so
what
they're
I
trying
heard.
to recoup from that. But Tamara is also a good example of a community that's
Tomorrow?
been thriving for decades. It's in Portugal, and so
Okay.
taking lessons from them is a really good thing.
oh, and the other thing is, one of the founders of Findhorn came over here to Northern California and started another community. I've forgotten what that's called.
Oh,
Ah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So all the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s hippies are finally setting the ground for the new generation to come in and take it on and take it into the next possibility,
Hmm.
coming full circle. Awesome.
wow. Yeah.
Anyone
We
else
did
have
have several members from our community that lived in Hawaii, and
Yeah.
Bobby and I went over and visited one lady. She had a healer living with her, but she did pass. Very lovely lady. I can't remember her name, but so we had at least 3 members living in Hawaii one time.
Nice. Well, maybe we can co-locate and have a place for us all to come.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm voting for Hawaii. Just saying.
I'll vote for it too. I'm behind you.
Me too.
It's way more expensive, but it's
Yeah.
kind of sort of worth it. You know, the energy, when I landed, I could tell. It's like I was just, kind of home. The energetic was
Mhm.
just home.
Mhm.
And my skin, within 24 hours, my skin was supple and hydrated, and I barely did anything. But they have this water catchment and they treat it with the minerals. So it's very, internally cleansing as well as
Mhm.
everything external is, a little bit of the humidity. It just helps everything except my hair. It's frizzy, but that's okay. I'll live with that.
Hey,
My skin
at least
feels,
you have hair,
yeah, that's true.
I'm so happy for you to have this experience to be with your son.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I went to Thanksgiving where I got to see my other son. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. And so it's like I was really feeling the itch. And so I
Yep.
broke through the fear of traveling. I haven't traveled since COVID. So I went home for Thanksgiving and got very sick. And it's like I knew that was going to happen, but I
Oh,
managed to get through it. Mindset, mindset. It
okay.
was just a cold. There was nothing beyond a cold, but it was very bad cold, deep cold. But now
Yes.
I'm here in Hawaii and it's like, oh, I can pick up and go anywhere. I can be a traveling person again.
I can breathe.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yay. Breathing
wonderful.
is good.
It's just so fulfilling seeing your kids and just kind of, I
Oh,
get
yeah.
hugs every day now. And it's like, oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Filling up my cup.
Mhm.
Who else wants to share? What's happening for 2025?
And there is another wonderful place in Hawaii. We went to the like the Shangri-La for it's not Tibetans, it's for Hindus, as a Hindu temple. Huge.
Okay.
You might, if you want to check that out. They have a beautiful temple. And then in the Shangri-La part of it is they own a lot of property. And down in this huge valley with cascading waterfalls and plants,
Yeah.
Wow.
out in the middle of all that, they built a temple with I think, a gold crown.
Wow.
That sounds beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah. One of our members wanted me to bury something on their property. But there were also a hell of a lot of mosquitoes. They didn't bother the Hindu priest, but they bit the hell out of me.
With your fair skin.
You have to submit. It's like, it's like, okay, I give in, and it's like, you are my brother, sister, etc. And my son was explaining the same thing. He says it doesn't bother me at all anymore. They don't even bite anymore because you just commune with them, and it's like no more, opportunity for prey and victim.
Yeah, we don't want to go into victim mode. No.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Charlie, your idea to liquidate that property. I mean, California is a place where you can sell a piece of property for a good chunk of money and then get something, somewhere else in the country where there's, people who are rooted in the ministry that can start, something somewhere else. So, that's a whole other discussion, because it is the desert. 29 Palms property is in the desert. And sometimes, something you said earlier, Charlie, sometimes the desert just wants to be the desert, or it's just good at being the desert. Why try and change a desert property into something that's growing, a lot of something, especially when there's not a bunch of people that are connected with us already there. So that's just a thought, where is there a population of people already connected with this group where there's also available land to purchase, to do something, connect with the ministry on. Just an idea.
So I have, I don't disagree with that. I do have an additional thought along that line, which is people live in the desert, and people need access to healthy food, and the foods that go to the grocery stores travel so many miles, yada yada. You all know that they're not ripe, and they're not nutritious, and they're lacking in the appropriate vitamins and nutrients and stuff. So much like inner cities like New York City, Chicago, Detroit, there was a guy that in Detroit, I believe, took deserted lots and turned them into growing things for the locals there, because the people there only had access to junk food, and fast foods. Restaurants were in abundance, and some people didn't even have access even to a grocery store for miles and miles. So basically my thing is, there's, even where I live, it's a food desert. The lack of accessibility to healthy foods and the subsequent abundance of chronic health issues, heart disease, diabetes, all of that is rampant, and obesity and all that. I personally hold the vision to get into these food desert communities and bring in farmers markets and growing places. And again, the tricky part is not doing it for them, but teaching them to do it for themselves. So there will be applications where certain communities will be just so food addicted to the way that their lifestyle is, that they wouldn't be interested. So there might be some level of pre-marketability that we would have to do to make sure that any community that we wish to help improve help themselves improve, that it would be received. So
Yeah, and I agree with all of that as a mission and as a really admirable thing to do. The logistics of the 29 Palm property is that it doesn't have water. Like, it's literally not connected to the city water system as far as I know, and it also doesn't have a well on it right now. It's a dry property in a desert. So the logistics of like getting the water needed to grow crops, like for people to eat or whatever. I mean, it would be at least $30,000 just to like dig a well on that property, you know? And so while I love the thoughts that you had about all of that, Caitlin, I just worry about the practicality of actually creating that, making that property. Right now it's zoned rural living. And so you can do a lot of different things on it. You can grow crops if you want to, or have some, you know, animals or whatever. But the actual logistical issue of like connecting it to water, or, you know, figuring out enough infrastructure to collect enough water year round to grow things year round. It's all, it feels a little challenging when there's no one actually on it to
Well,
do that. And there's not a lot of budget behind it to do it.
Yeah, in a way, that's also an opportunity, and that's where some people can take that opportunity, scarcity of something, and find the abundance, where somebody can bring that tool or that resource to fruition, and then you become the provider for the city. And so there are other water catchment and water extraction from air, water, you know, wherever you can find water from many sources, including the mountains that pool into these, what are they called? Whatever they are, subterranean things that 29 Palms draws their water source from.
Water basin.
Yeah, but if we take that and turn it into something that this 5 acres can be a production facility for, then that becomes a really big generative possibility. I'm not saying that that's the way to go, but I'm saying that that's an opportunity that maybe somebody would fund, because they see the possibility of the resource being, oh, the desert needs water. We have a resource to get the water. Here's how you do it. Even if it's desalinization of ocean water that you bring over somehow, I don't know. I mean, there are several people working on this. I don't know if you've heard of the organization called X Prize. They're behind the Starlink satellites and all that kind of stuff. They basically provide competition, you know, $100,000 for the person that comes up with the right solution for water catchment in the desert. And then you got 100 companies from around the world coming up with all different possibilities. And then they come in these tiered winnings, and they can be not only a PR kind of success if you don't make it to the top, but also, you know, the person that does make it to the top doesn't necessarily get all of the money that they were looking for, but they get the notoriety and the possibility to grow that into something else. And the adoption of people who, you know, 100 companies working toward the same goal gives you a huge network to start to expand that into many more resources down the line.
Nikki might want to talk to Dan Carf.
Okay.
He has spent like 25 or 30 years.
Yeah.
He got some information about doing something with water.
Yeah.
And he's talked to everybody till he's blue in the face to try to get the backing. He's very closed mouth about it, because no one else has it, and he's afraid somebody might steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing about 29 Palms, when I got the property, when I went out there, I met a man that had been a VP for, I think, Ford Motor Company. And he was under so much stress. He had a heart condition. He was supposed to die. He went to the desert and just learned how to relax. And he never did die. He recovered, and he was very happy about it. The other thing is, there are several neighbors on the property that must have wells.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you could work out a deal you could tap into, pay them for some of their water or something. I don't know. Or invite them to, maybe they'd like the 5 acres parcel.
Yeah.
Give them more, they could invite more of their friends out there.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess it needs a visit and getting to know the neighbors. I wish my couple was still out there. I'm wondering if they come home, if they would be a good resource for us, but they had to go make their money somewhere else and see if they can come back and be a part of the on-site team.
Or you might find a realtor out there that could talk to the people.
Yeah. I don't know. Caitlin, do you
Sure.
have
And
access
get an
to?
appraisal.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
All kinds of possibilities. So
Mhm.
Zoom user, we haven't heard from you. What's your superpower? The person with Zoom user.
Marie,
Yeah.
what's your superpower?
Oh, I'm still learning. I really don't know. I'm I'm lost for words. I'm just at awe with everything that you're saying, and it's quite interesting. So my superpower, prayer, is my superpower. That's all I could that's the only thing I could think of right now.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
Prayer
you.
as a superpower is a good one to have. And
Yeah.
just know that this is a kind of a more like chatty Sunday service. I mean, often our Sunday services are more service like, more, but there's always a time where we're interacting, at least towards the end of them. So just for future reference, it's not always so chatting about a project.
Oh, Laura explained quite a bit to me how you learn so much from all of you, and there's like the service, and then there's chitty chat,
Yeah.
and which I like all of the above. So
Wonderful.
it's very nice to be here as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Laura.
Laura, for bringing her.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do thank Laura. She's a good person, good teacher, good friend.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Do we have any plans for next week?
Well, I was thinking we could start the interview process again because several of us have not been interviewed. So any requests or desires? Is Bobby up to be interviewed?
She's sleeping right now.
Maybe give her a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I asked her about it. She's not enthused.
Okay. That's all right.
Nikki, how about if I interview you?
Well, I got interviewed.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yes.
Who else hasn't gotten? I interviewed Kevin.
How about Shirley? Did anybody interview Shirley?
We should do that.
Yeah.
Is she still on? No.
No, she disappeared. Speaking of Shirley, prayers for her son. He's in the hospital. He's not well. So,
Okay.
and send some to her so she stays calm. 'Cause that is her baby.
If Shirley's going to be interviewed, is it possible for someone to be there interviewing her in person? So to make sure she's kind of there and on focus and on camera?
Would probably be me. Yeah.
Or we could
Yeah.
actually do it on one of your Wednesday visits, if that makes sense.
That would be good. Yeah, if
Okay.
we could do that
It
when
won't
Sally
be as
and I
big of
are
a group, but
both
at least the
here.
interview is calm
Yeah.
and
Well, we could
clean
record
and
it. Could
yeah.
we record it and play it on a Sunday
Yep.
service?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me talk to her about that because right now Sally's not available at all. And I got a broken wing, so I can't drive. But maybe by the end of the month,
Okay.
because February I will be most of February in Florida putting out fires for several family members. So let me talk to Cheryl
Okay.
and see how she's doing. A lot depends on what goes on with Greg.
Yeah.
But I can do that. Yeah. And if we could do it on a Wednesday and then just replay it, that would be
Okay.
fabulous.
Yeah, we can accommodate for that.
All right. Very good. Thank
Who
you.
here hasn't been interviewed? Bea, Cindy, Caitlin?
I think I was pretty much just interviewed for my ministerial certification.
That's not the same thing.
That's not the same.
Okay.
I want to pick your brain.
Yeah.
How about Terry Riley's daughter, Caitlin?
We'd love that, but I don't know if she's up for it. She's
I can
said no the
touch-
last couple times we asked her to come on.
Yeah, but I can touch base with her.
Okay.
Call Kate. Yeah.
Perry has not been interviewed, has she?
She has.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give-
We did
give her-
Paula too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I didn't see it on the YouTube thumbnails. So you must have been the first interview because it wasn't in the recent.
I think I was. Yeah.
Okay.
You picked on me first. Yes.
Hang on a second, Jean, would you? Wait just a minute.
How about B or Cindy next week?
What about Carrie? Did we interview her?
We did Carrie.
Did I do that? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's
I haven't been
B.
interviewed, but I don't feel that interesting. So
Stop.
Oh, you are very interesting.
So we need
Mm.
Cindy, B, and Caitlin.
Katrina.
And Katrina. Yeah.
Yep.
You're brand new. And we
Yep.
did interview you, but that was again for your ministry. So
Right.
Caitlin, Katrina, Cindy, and B. Okay, so we have
So
4
can
to
we
go.
pick someone so I don't have to call somebody Saturday when I'm doing the newsletter?
Ouch. Ooh, ow.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. How about alphabetical? B.
B.
oh, great.
Can we interview you next
Who's
week?
going to interview me?
Who do you want?
Yeah, what do you want?
I don't
to
know. I
do?
could see if Carrie can do it.
Okay.
That would be good.
I'll ask her.
Okay,
Who's good at it?
she is. Yeah.
Unless anybody wants to volunteer.
I'd be happy
No.
to, but if you want Carrie, that's great. Let's
Okay, I'll
mix
ask
it up.
Carrie.
Yeah,
Because everybody's got a different style.
that's true.
Okay.
All right. So Carrie interviews B unless otherwise voted.
Otherwise stated, voted,
Yeah.
whatever.
And then what about the next week so I can make the calendar full?
I'll do Cindy if she's willing the next week. What date
Okay.
is that? Cindy, where are you? Are you okay with that? Or don't you know because of your caseload?
You're muted.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Yes, Sunday's fine.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so
we
next
from-
Sunday's Sunday and the Sunday after me.
No.
Vice
Next
versa.
Sunday is you, and the week after is, well,
Okay, you've got
Cindy-
Cindy and you on the on here right now, and I don't know. I can't get a hold. I just texted Carrie, so let's.
Okay.
If you can do Cindy
All
next
right.
Sunday,
all right, Cindy, you're it next
does that
week.
work?
No
For me,
problem.
does that work for you? Okay.
Yep, no problem.
Great.
Okay.
And what's that date?
Next Sunday is the 12th,
The 12th. Thank you.
and the Sunday after that is the 19th.
No, I can't.
for
I
me.
can't. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Let me think. No. All right. We're going to Brattleboro on Saturday, but we should be home Saturday night. Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. You busy bee, you.
Oh, yeah, I know. Even broken wing and all.
I know. That's why
Still
we love
flying
you.
with one wing here.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Feeling good?
Except, well, he told me 2 more weeks. I can't move it, not even to try and exercise it. And we'll do x-rays again.
Wow.
And then he'll decide. It's really disconcerting. He says, I know
Yeah.
you're a nurse and I know you're impatient, but get over it.
Yeah, I know. Don't you love it when they tell you that?
Yeah. But, it is what it is. And it's given me opportunity to do some more painting and some more resting and some more reading. And that's all I'm allowed to do. So
Good job.
anyway, but it's healing. It's healing. And my herbal stuff is helping. My nettle
And
tea
you-
and my bone set.
And you're receptive to Reiki healing send?
Yep. Please do.
That's awesome. Okay.
Anybody who wants to send me some, just aim it at the left shoulder, right at the top, right below the rotator cuff. It cracked.
Ouch.
And I was in that library yesterday supervising the hanging of my one-woman painting show, and I almost fell down the stairs in another place.
Oh my God.
Oh my
I just,
God.
I gotta stay
Paula.
away
You
from
fell
the
up the
stairs.
stairs,
at
you
that
got to
library.
balance it and fall down, right?
Yeah, yeah. I tripped on a ladder that the guy who was hanging my show,
Oh my
fortunately, he grabbed
God.
me by the collar and kept me
Wow.
up. I went, oh, I could just see me going, boom. No,
Lucky.
thank
Oh my
you.
God. Be
Thank you.
careful.
Yeah. Anyway, my show is up and it looks beautiful, and I will try to send out pictures
Yeah, I was going to say that. Nikki, send some pictures
I
of
will.
where
from
the
Hawaii.
beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will.
some waterfalls.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
near
especially
You get to
Ataka
see
Falls.
some.
Healing pictures.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love my waterfalls.
will do.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Blessings.
Yep.
Thank
Have a great
you.
week.
Love
Happy
you
New
all.
Year.
Laura.